Hey everyone, this audio, or I should say video, it's titled Legacy of Fear. So, whether we live in a fearful society, a fearful family structure, there's this legacy of fear. There's this way that fear can get kind of passed down. So, I'm going to turn my video off, excuse me, and we will get right into the audio. Got a juicy one for you. We're going to work on processing fear. Some people will say it is false evidence appearing real. And I'll do my disclaimer that I'm not a health professional, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a counselor or a therapist, and I offer no advice. Unlocking resilience takes no responsibility in the use or misuse of this audio or any of its resources provided on the calls, audios, or website. You as a consumer take full responsibility for your mental health choices and behaviors. On with the call. As you breathe in and breathe out, you can focus on your body doing a gentle scan, bringing your awareness to the body. As you continue to breathe, ask yourself, where does fear show up in my life? My emotions, my relationships. What would life be like without a constant companion of fear? Not for others, but for yourself. And if you think about your biggest fear, what comes up for you? Where do you notice it in your body? What emotions can you label? And where can you feel them in your body? Continue breathing and noticing whatever comes up for you when you think about your biggest fear, and just observe. You may get pictures in your mind, sensations in your body. Maybe a storyline shows up. All of it is welcome. And as you focus on this, I'm going to speak to your superconscious. Being on this call gives me permission to work with your superconsciousness or listening to this audio. Superconscious, before we start with today's session, please build a safe container to process this big fear, this paralyzing energy and patterns. Invite, gather, guide, and place all the parts in the proper position and timing so they can be treated completely and safely using the safe container. Superconscious, please use the awakening script so that all the parts are educated and comfortable with the treatment container process. In this or any other lifetime, including generational influences, please locate and treat the metaphors of all legacies of fear and how this propagated into all levels of consciousness, and develop an inverse metaphor to run into zero, to zero out the deep programming from the DNA. Using the recursive mathematic process until zero is reached for each metaphor. And when you have created the treatment container, team, and process to treat these metaphors, emotions, memories, and structures, tag and treat all the parts, memory structures that want treatment, including the ones tagged from the last session until now, slowly and safely, and with total respect. Using the rinse and repeat process again and again until the inverse has completed. As parts awaken or can assist, educate them and bring them into the safe container for treatment and integration with the main identity. Inform all parts not to worry about the confusion feeling, for that is just chaos working itself out. When ready to do the first round, do a massive history change and everything after that to activate the recursive formula. Breathing and noticing. Feel into how your fear could be a protective reaction to life or a conditioned response from the environment. We all have a main go-to when life is asking more from us. Maybe it's a skill we don't have yet, or we're just re-experiencing a danger from the past. We can often go into fear when we need to go into new areas of life, because the old patterns come up to be upgraded, the old protection patterns that our brain has tagged as a problem or something it thought it resolved in an appropriate manner. You could also just be retaining primitive reflex patterns from infancy. Doesn't matter, the superconscious will be treating all of it today. Again, think about the most intense or most recent time you wanted to overwhelm or fear. Superconscious, please bring this experience into the safe container and fully treat this experience. Then treat all of the parts, predispositions, beliefs, emotions, and everything else coming into the active experience right now. Apply the inverse metaphor if appropriate. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Continue breathing and noticing. Superconscious, please keep treating everything that's associated to and with the past, present, and future in relation to this fear pattern. And when appropriate, do a massive history change and everything after that. And as you breathe and notice whatever is present for you, maybe we can go a little deeper when you think about the ways you might go into protection or fear patterns. What does this mean about you? And where does this pattern keep showing up in your life? And now realize, how does it make you feel? And superconscious, fully treat this experience from beginning to end. Treat all of the content and emotional memories associated to it and with this. Superconscious, treat all of the broken agreements, unaligned intentions, the core conflict, judgments, resentments. Treat all of the rejections and assumptions, projections to, from, and within the relevant parts or personality. Treating all of the decisions and agreements. And where appropriate, replace all of the treated memories with positive self-empowering memories and beliefs, emotions and experiences. And then do a massive history change and everything after that. Let's go a little deeper. Asking yourself, what is your role in this experience? What do you think about being this way? How might you be judging and labeling yourself and this fear? And feel into it. How do you describe yourself? Keep breathing and noticing. Superconscious, please fully treat any fearful identity and all the reasons why I first created it, and prepare it for an upgrade and integration to the main personality. Superconscious, please treat the most dominant core belief, structures, and disempower them until they are 100% false in the active experience. Superconscious, please do a structure of association on all the like beliefs and memories. And when appropriate, do a massive history change and everything after that. Keep on breathing and noticing. What is coming up for you now? Are you becoming more compassionate with yourself, or possibly harder on yourself? Superconscious, before we move forward, please copy the memories and diagnose what's blocking the treatment and communication process. Expand and strengthen this safe container. Once you've resolved that, please treat all of the barriers and then do a massive history change and everything after that. Continue with the education and upgrade integration process. In the next round, I would like to encourage you to think about, how does the fear serve you? Ask yourself, how are you benefiting from it? Are you using it as an excuse for yourself or maybe others? Do you feel that the fear is easier than something new? Whatever is being triggered for you, ask the superconscious to guide it into the safe container where it will be treated fully for you. And superconscious, fully treat this experience, everything in and outside of the safe container, associated to and with fear. Treat all of the reasons and conclusions, all of the excuses, all of the perceived benefits, everything that we created from this experience. Superconscious, please continue to treat any conflicting parts, emotions, and memories and structures that may be coming into the active experience. Please treat all disempowering beliefs, emotions, experiences, memories. Then do a massive history change and everything after that. Superconscious, please run the traumatic structure procedure. When the structure falls apart, please tag and treat each fragment and replace it with positive self-empowering beliefs, emotions, memories, meanings, and experiences. And then do a massive history change and everything after that. Superconscious, please put all of the fragile, resistant, conflicting, and young parts into the observing mode for them to decide when and how to join the safe container. Where needed, join them with their opposite and or comforting pair. And whenever they're ready to communicate with the treatment team, Please treat all the parts in the most perfect order and with total respect. And then reinforce the positive coping mechanisms before joining them with the main personality, so they can run the body together without conflict and to deepen in comfort and understanding. Superconscious continue the inverse process until zero is reached. Support the integration process for all parts that are educated, agree, and are ready. And one more time, think about your biggest or most intense fear and all the reasons you keep living like that. Maybe you can be open to ask yourself, who is responsible for this? Is it other people around you, your partner, your family, your boss, the society or culture you live in? Who is forcing you to constantly live in fear? And then recognize how this makes you feel. Superconscious, please treat this experience, and then please treat all of the people and the circumstances that are involved in this experience. Everything that has come up into the active experience, please treat any resentment, anger, blame. Treat the collage of emotions and memories and replace them with a new self-empowering one. Realign the perception of this experience with their heart's desires, their inner truth about this experience. Maybe you can embrace a new understanding. An aha moment of change comes upon you as you listen to your heart and not outside information. And when appropriate, do a massive history change and everything after that. And then maybe you can explore if there's any space for you to create a new reality for yourself around fear, around your life. And maybe ask yourself, how would life be better if I created clear boundaries for myself without fear? Am I a person who can take responsibility for my well-being? What if I was in charge of what I want to do in my life and not fear or outside influences? And I know this is a new way of being in the world, in your world, but just imagine and consider thinking about it. Notice how this makes you feel. How would it feel to be in charge of your life? Superconscious, please fully treat this new experience, this new creation. And please treat all the fears and doubts. Treat all of the heart memories and replace them with love, peace, more satisfaction, and inspired action. Superconscious, treat any sense of resistance to this new reality, this taking responsibility for myself, my actions, my emotions, and treat any avoidance or confusion of what this would be like, sound like, or look like. Superconscious, please treat any triggered parts, protector controller, any created structures, and continue running the inverse if zero has not been reached. Whenever appropriate, do a massive history change and everything after that. And superconscious, to strengthen this process, do a parallel session, lining up the before and lining up the after experience in a recursive, repetitive program until all conflicting memories, emotions, and action steps can be accepted and replaced with one clear plan of action. Once agreed upon by all parts, in or not in the safe container, do a massive history change and everything after that. Now let's change the focus and ask ourselves the question: if I've been living in this pattern of fear for a really long time and I'm letting it go, what do I want to replace it with instead? Superconscious, please treat this new creation. One more time, ask yourself, what is it I want to experience? What else is possible for me beyond my wildest dreams? What experiences do I want to bring into my life? If I'm responsible for my creation, my life, embracing the power to make it happen, what would it provide for me? Superconscious again, fully treat and strengthen this new creation. Tagging and treating any old pathological consciousness, and then replace them with a natural consciousness that is available now, before the distortion of fear took hold. Superconscious, continue to fill and treat the safe container and running the inverse until zero is reached and the legacy of fear is neutralized. And support the main personality in the ability to hear this, feel this, and see this as its new creation, its new positive reality. Superconscious, please keep on treating everything until a courageous expression of this new self, this new identity, is 100% true in the active experience. Keep treating everything that is not in alignment or conflicts with who they truly are in this new creation. Whenever it's appropriate, please do a massive history change and everything after that. And for our last round before we close the session today, think about everything you've experienced during today's session and think about everything you want to create. And superconscious again, reinforce this parallel session, lining up the old and lining up the new identity, again in a recursive, repetitive program until all conflicting emotions, memories, and action steps can be accepted and replaced with one clear action plan. Once agreed on by all the parts, do a massive history change and everything after that. And superconscious, please tag and treat this identity shift and continue to support these new action steps to support the self-empowering energy behind them, to support the positive emotions behind them, and to bring in the aha moment of how this will change my life in a new and wonderful way. And once an action plan has been created, treat all of it until it is 100% true in the active experience of the main personality. And continue to create and continue to support this creation until it is easy to take inspired action steps towards it. Superconscious maintain the safe container until the inverse reaches 0, and then align the parts to integrate into the main personality to smoothly run the body together without conflict. Then the container can be dissolved along with any remaining fear residue. And as I bring this session to a close, please run the end of session procedure and then do a complete massive history change and everything needed after that. And with your permission, I will close the session. Again, as you're bringing yourself back, you might want to journal for a little bit. Write down those intuitions that you got. Did you get some action steps? And of course, leave me how the experience was for you in the comments. And don't forget to leave me a message on the next audio you would like for me to do.